Welcome to the Art of Rebounding, where setbacks become setups and your bounce back is your breakthrough. I'm your host, Harold Lefty Williams, former pro athlete, motivator, and believer in second chances. Each week, we'll dive deep into stories and strategies built on positioning, persistence, and purpose to help you rise, rebuild, and reclaim your next chapter. This isn't just a podcast. It's your permission to rise again, and this time with purpose. Today's guest, play-by-play broadcaster for the ACC, Big 12, ASUN Conference, and host of basketball past, present, and future on Gary TV sports channels in the USA and on the NBA TV in Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my friend, Jesse Ough.
Lefty, it's good to join you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate the intro. You know what's funny is, coming here, I was really thinking to myself, okay, what could I possibly say that could not just, do you right and do your show, because I respect everything that you got going on, but just to add to the overall, vibes of everything that's happening, not just here, but in basketball internationally. And I think I have to come in and say that I really love to see when my brothers get success, and I'm very happy to see that this is a success for you, So very happy to see you winning.
Thank you, man.
I love to see my boys winning. So
thank you. Appreciate it.
Pleasure to be here.
So listen, the Art of Rebounding is people think that it's a sports podcast.
Yeah.
But it's not. That's the bait, right? And we reel them in, get over here, and then we start really diving in.
Yeah.
It's really all about position and persistence, as you heard it in the intro.
Yeah.
And so we're just trying to give people a new mindset and give them the you will win mindset, right? So talk to me about the journey, because I know a little bit about your journey. We even talked a little bit about it earlier today offline. But what does a rebound mean to you, A? And B, where did all of that take place along the process today? Because people know the glory, they see the glory, but they don't know the story.
No, never.
So take us there.
Okay. So as a play-by-play broadcaster, it's a little hard to get into this industry in the first place, just because it's such a flooded market. A lot of people want to have the job that I have. It's the best job in sports. You get to sit courtside for basketball games. You get to sit in the press box for football games, and I'm on the floor for volleyball games, in the booth for baseball games. It's a sought-after profession. Now, for me, I've been told no a million times, and that's the biggest
I used to think that no was my first and last name.
Yeah, no, it really is, though. So when I first started, I was on my campus radio station, and I did a half an hour talk show every week just to get on air, and I had to produce it, do everything myself. I went to school on the West Coast at Cal.
Okay.
And I found out quickly, once I got into college, that baseball was not going to be an option for me. I was a baseball player growing up, but my arm was falling off and didn't necessarily have a career in that. So I decided, you know what? I want to be around sports the rest of my life. How can I do that? I knew that there was a campus radio station and that they did baseball broadcasts and women's basketball broadcasts. So I got into broadcasting through that. I started doing the weekly talk show Wednesday nights, called it Bear Talk.
Okay.
Took that show, parlayed it with a little more play-by-play here and there over my next couple of years, became the sports director at that station. Little small campus radio station called CalX on Berkeley's campus in the basement of Barrows Hall. I took that, and I wanted to get into professional play-by-play sportscasting or hosting, something that could get my name out there. And for me, that looked like moving to Orlando, Florida to get into minor league basketball. Now, you played for the Globetrotters. That is still glorified basketball. That is amazing basketball at its finest. That was awesome. Congratulations for being the Lefty of that group, by the way. But minor league basketball, it is not pretty. I don't know if you know anything about minor league basketball, but nobody takes it that seriously. Most people show up either out of their mind in one way or another, and they don't really respect the sport or anything else that's going on around their center of the universe, which is, I'm going to do this basketball so I can get a job overseas, but I'm not going to help this young guy advance in his career. I'm not here for anyone else on the team as well. So it was a lot of selfishness, but the one good thing that came from that was it got me a million reps. But even after those reps, I started applying to just smaller ESPN jobs around the country and just mid-major schools and whatnot. And I got told no a million times. And that really made me think, am I really that bad? And at that point in time, I had called probably, 4,000 hours of games just in minor league basketball alone. And I had footage and I had tape of myself getting better over the years, but nothing was still panning out for me. So what I had to do in order to get my next play-by-play job in a more professional realm was I had to go and do it internationally. Somehow the universe, thank you universe, gave me a position to call basketball play-by-play in Italy for the men's Italian D1 league, the LBA Serie A. So
let's pause there. So what I'm hearing is that you begin to feel the weight of the weight, the heaviness of the weight, but you did not allow that weight, that heaviness to stop you.
No.
You were waiting for your right opportunity, but while you were waiting, you were still working. You were still making it happen, trying to push.
Yeah, but the problem is I wasn't making a lot of money. I, B, wasn't happy with the games I was calling because I knew that if I kept doing this, I might not leave ever, and I might not get out of it forever. And C, what person, I wanted to have a wife and kids one day, and what person would want to be with a guy who's just calling minor league basketball every single week?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's real.
Yeah.
And so for me, that whole weight on my shoulders was so crazy that I decided, you know what? If these opportunities are not going to be in the United States, I got to look elsewhere because I got to advance my career to where I can get all those things in one and I can be happy and proud of who I am. And also for me, I want my parents to look at me like I'm a success.
Right, absolutely.
I got to make sure my mom looks at me like I'm a success and that she's proud of me at all points in time.
Because what was once their ceiling is now your floor.
Exactly.
So you want them to be proud.
Exactly. And they put in all this effort, all of this time into me growing up and making sure I was raised the right way. And if I didn't have the right area where I could pass that on and share my experience and share my wealth and also share my happiness, which is sports, with other people in other places, then I felt like I was doing my parents a disservice. And so that was kind of the weight of the world on my shoulders was I might just disappoint everyone in my life.
So take me to the place where you were briefly.
Yeah.
Take me to the place where you were to the point where you're like, you know what? I'm going to just do something out of the norm.
Yeah.
Let's just see. I'm going to throw this on the wall and see if it sticks.
Yeah.
But then it stuck, and you were like, oh wow, they actually took a chance on me. Tell the listeners and viewers that.
Yeah. So I ended up doing some of that international basketball broadcasting, and I didn't really think it would amount to anything because again, it was on another small little network, International Ball TV. That I didn't know how many people were going to watch. I didn't know who was going to be watching or what was going to be watching, but the one thing, and this I think you'll like, the old 49ers broadcaster, he's also a broadcaster for the Pac-12 and ESPN and NBC, he's on in the Olympics, Ted Robinson. Ted Robinson said the most important thing to me I've ever heard in my entire life. And he says, Jesse, no matter how many no's you get, no matter how many times you have to work a gig for free, whatever jobs you want, you have to be woefully persistent. You don't have to be overbearing. You don't have to hit up every single person ever and keep doing it every single time, every single year. But you have to be woefully persistent and be okay with being woefully persistent.
Right.
And so that's something I always took with me. And so from there, I took that international footage, I took my minor league basketball footage, and I composed a list of every major Division I school in the country.
Yep.
And I sent them an email.
Yep.
I did a mail merge. I put it in an algorithm for it. I learned how to do an algorithm on Google Sheets. I sent every single school an email that was a Division I school in the United States. And I happened to get hit back from a small mid-major in North Florida in Jacksonville saying, hey, we'll give you a couple game tryout. You get 3 games. And I said, okay. And I went in and I did it and I did well. But the thing was, I wasn't getting that full-time position still. Nobody was still outside of that really willing to give me another opportunity. Fast forward now a year. I've had those games. I was on ESPN+. I've been doing everything as much as I can. I always say yes to every opportunity.
Right.
That's what Ted Robinson told me.
Right.
You say yes to every opportunity, so I said yes to every opportunity. Literally the next year, out of nowhere, I get contacted by a couple schools in the ACC.
Yep.
And I get contacted by FIBA, FIBA Media, which is the International Basketball Broadcasting Company, FIBA Media.
Right.
And I had sent them an email 3 years prior, heard nothing back. And that moment where they sent me an email and it was a producer who said, hey, Jesse, I came across your tapes. Let's talk. Mm-hmm. Now I work for the ACC, I work for the Big 12, I work for the ASUN Conference and FIBA Media. I get to go internationally twice a year.
And I get to go
call national team games. I'm wearing a Miami red shirt and, I'm having fun. But, it's a long, hard grind and it's a lot of reaching out to people and it's a lot of just constant grind, head down. I'm not going to look up until I, see the NBA Finals.
So that's a great goal, by the way.
Yeah.
Listen. The thing is this, that things can change very quickly for you. Things can happen for you. And I want the listeners to understand that as long as you are willing and able to get after it. Sometimes we put our own self in the way.
Yeah.
And we don't know how to move ourselves out the way.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have a pity party for ourselves and we start getting down on ourselves. Here's what I say. I say that all of life takes place in between your two ears. You start, I'm not worthy. Then we start wondering about everybody's opinions, right? But opinions are like nostrils. Everybody got, So you have to block out all of the opposition, and you have to make up in your mind that you're going to go after it. And that's what you did. You went after it. And so now, here we are with this success. Let's talk about the name of the new show. I think it's like over 5 million.
5.5 million households a month.
Yeah. That's huge. That's huge. But you would not have gotten there if you said, I'm going to stay in Italy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is what I see for me.
Yeah.
Then that would not be possible. But you weren't able to do that. Here's what I want you to do.
Yeah.
Because we're short on time.
Okay.
Let's look into your camera. This is your camera.
Bingo.
Somebody is listening. Listen, Jesse, someone's on their way to work right now.
Yeah.
They're working a job right now that they know they're not happy.
Yeah.
Somebody has just lost their job. Somebody just failed on their first major business they tried to start.
Mm-hmm.
Someone has just failed in their marriage and they're feeling down and out. They feel like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Someone is looking for the right move, but they're afraid to jump. They're afraid to step up and step out, as my wife would say, right? What do you say to them? Go encourage them.
Fortune favors the bold, number one. You got to be bold in everything you do. Number two, you have to be woefully persistent. If you don't put yourself out there, the answer is always going to be no. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Literally, that's how life goes. And number 3 or 4, however many I've said, is whatever you put out into life, you're always going to get back. If you put out bad vibes, you're going to get back bad vibes. If you put out good vibes, if you're a happy person, if you choose to live life in a happy way and protrude that on other people, you're always going to get it back, and people are always going to want to watch out for you because they know you're a good person.
No, that's good. That's great advice. And listen, I hope that you're listening to what he's saying. So every time someone is on my platform, I'm telling you that they have been through something. They have been able to bounce back. They've been able to rebound. They've been able to pursue themselves and keep going. And this is what Jesse's talking about. Super duper duper successful. You don't get into 5.5 million homes without persistence, right? Without trying, without repositioning yourself, without going after it, right? All right. Now, let's switch gears just a little bit.
Okay.
If there is a championship that you are trying to win,
okay,
I want you to send in 6 Avengers.
Oh.
The best of the best.
Yep.
6 Navy SEALs.
Yep.
And the 6th person really could be in that 5. But for this conversation, this is your 6.
Okay.
And they don't know how to fail. Who are you sending?
So like we're taking on the Monstars, right?
There you go.
Okay. Steph Curry.
Okay.
Greatest shooter ever in the history of the sport. So, and I grew up a Golden State Warriors fan. So there it is. He changed my life. Steph Curry, first and always. Number 2, Kobe. Because I want killer mentality on my team. I don't want anyone and the mindset on their team to beat my mindset on my team.
Part.
Kobe, in between the ears, best ever.
Yep.
LeBron James, because he probably is the best ever.
One of them, yeah.
He'll be my third.
Is your list.
Yes,
this is your list. Go ahead.
Yep. He'll be my third. My fourth, I'm going to go with Kevin Durant, just because he's the best scorer ever, pretty much. I mean, I'm talking about pretty much one era of basketball here. But fifth, I have to go with Shaq because I want to dominate. I don't want to just dog someone else. I want to dominate you in every world, in every dimension, in every universe ever. So that's my fifth. And my sixth, coming off the bench, I mean, since people want to have the conversation with Steph and Magic Johnson now, I'll put Magic Johnson on the team.
Oh, yeah.
He can come off the bench, but I'll put Magic Johnson on there too because that's the conversation everyone wants to have now.
Listen, I don't think that you can go wrong with any of those people at all. Like you can't go wrong there. But I asked for the Avengers. When you added Shaq, I felt like you put Thanos there.
But Shaq is the nicest guy in the world.
No. I know. I'm not saying personality.
Okay.
I feel like with Thanos, it's one snap and everything's over. So with Shaq, you think you're going to guard him, and it's over.
Yeah.
Right before it starts.
So that's why he's on my team. That's why he's on my team, not the other team.
Exactly.
I also probably would have maybe put Wilt up there, but somebody showed me footage of this 100-point game. I was just having a conversation with Coach Mo, Paul McKeskey, on my show about this. We can film him going in and out of clubs. We've seen footage of him, on dates, but we don't have that 100-point game. Where is it?
I don't know. But what I can tell you is Wilt is one of the strongest guys ever. I just had number 1 overall draft pick 1972 LaRue Martin on my show. And he played against Wilt. He was drafted in the same class with Dr. J.
Not bad.
He played against Kareem.
Yep.
I think he was drafted with McAdoo as well, if I'm not mistaken.
You're correct.
Yeah, and so he just was showing me different pictures and different things, and he's just saying, listen, he said, Lefty, this guy was one of the strongest people I have ever played against. I said, really? But to your point, I would love to see that 100-point game. We know what 81 looks like.
That's what I'm saying. That's why that is on my team.
Yeah.
I could do that, but 100 points, I don't know.
I don't think you can go wrong either way. Listen, I think that this whole era has really changed.
Yeah.
What I did like to see in the playoffs was the physicality come back. I was really happy about that. So my question to you is, do you think that this should continue in the fall? Should we bring back that physicality? And is this generation, can they handle it?
I'm sure they can.
You think so?
Yeah. I was talking to Artis Gilmore on our show the other day, and he said the physicality actually hasn't really left. It's just the way it's officiated has stepped in a little bit more, which I completely agree with. And that's not a knock on NBA refs or anything. I think the refs did a fantastic job in the playoffs this year, and 100%. I give credit where credit is due. 100%. A lot of people talk a lot of smack on NBA officials. They did a great job in the playoffs this year because the playoffs are supposed to be more physical. Now, should we bring it back in the fall, or should, we try to protect our players? Well, it's a long season, 82 games.
Right.
So you've got to do your best to protect the players as much as you can because you do want your stars playing in the playoffs, right? You don't want those torn ACLs or those torn Achilles in the playoffs. And if that means we have to protect our players in the regular season and the officiating has to be a little bit more tight, then so be it. I want to see stars play in the playoffs.
So let me ask you this. Do you think that we're doing too much shooting behind the arc? Do you think we need to come back to the inside out type of thing? Because here's the thing. You put Shaq on your team, you also put Steph on your team.
Yep.
That team's not losing. However,
balance.
Would Steph be able to take all of those threes that he likes to shoot, right, without kicking it down low to Shaq? Shaq's like, feed me first.
Yeah.
And then we'll send it to you.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So
Well, my thing is, I think we actually saw a resurgence of the two-point shot because who won the MVP this year?
Yeah, no, you're right.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. What is he known for?
You're right. Mid-range.
The nastiest mid-range 15-footer in the entire association. You know what I'm saying? So obviously, when Steph won those MVPs, the league started playing a little bit more beyond the arc. Now, obviously, Kevin Durant won it right before Steph, so that was where the emphasis was at that point in time. But now, with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander coming back, and a big not winning the MVP and a guard winning it, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander winning it, I think that we might see a little bit more of a resurgence of, hey, let me work on that 15-foot jumper, because in the playoffs you saw when Shai needed to get going, he got right to his spot at that left elbow, pulls up over the defender, and he has a shot that you can't even block. It's such a fast release.
He makes it look easy, and then he's coming full speed at you behind the back real quick.
Yeah.
There's the fadeaway. He's just, I mean, his footwork is really pretty impressive, man.
His footwork's good. His shot is so quick that it's tough to block, and it's a little bit of a fadeaway too, so it's not like you can get your arm up over him. You have to go in front of him as much as you can, and that's not a good idea.
So look, real quick before we close, I would say I went on Vernon Maxwell's podcast back in February, and I said to him, I think that if healthy, I like OKC chances. And it was pretty much prophetic, because those guys were healthy.
Yeah.
And they pretty much took care of business. You know?
I mean, last year, yes, OKC was the team to beat. I think this next year, you got to look out for the Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets are going to be awesome. They have Kevin Durant now. They got Clint Capella back on a 3-year deal. They made some moves that they needed to make in the offseason in order to get better offensively and defensively. I think if you're looking at the West, that's the candidate I think you should be a little bit worried about. And in the East, the Orlando Magic.
Yeah, I think Orlando's on the rise. I think that Houston has a great coach.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's going to come down to see what can they put together. You know, KD's getting older, but he's like fine wine. It gets better with time.
Absolutely.
And so we'll see. To that note, as we bring this thing to a close, I want to tell you, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate you, man. Really
appreciate you. You're the man. I love seeing you succeed. So please keep succeeding.
Let everyone know how they can follow you and all those things.
Well, in the fall, I'm actually moving to Phoenix, Arizona. I'll be doing some Arizona State games for the Big 12, and I'll also be all over the country calling all sorts of games around the United States. I will also be over in Europe for FIBA Media, doing the World Cup qualifiers for them, and then hopefully the World Cup coming up in 2 years, 2027. Absolutely. And then also Basketball Past, Present, and Future you can get on Gray Media's sports channels around the United States and on NBA TV in Canada. And that's what we're working with.
That's what I'm talking about. Yep. Listen, that's it for today's episode of The Art of Rebounding. And remember, a fall isn't what defines you. It's how you rise that writes your legacy. Whether you're rebuilding from a loss, recentering your purpose, or just learning how to stand again, know this, you're not alone. No, you're not alone. You were made for more. You were built to bounce back. I'll say that again. You were made for more. You were built to bounce back. Until next time, keep showing up, keep positioning yourself, and keep pushing with purpose, because your rebound, it's not coming. It's already in motion. Follow me on all social media platforms at Lefty Williams 42. I'm always down to hear about your comebacks. I want to see how you were able to rebound. Remember, you got to keep it high, chin it, keep it up high, all right, so you can move forward. Thank you to Circa Resort and Casino and VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Till next time, always remember, dare to dream.